Uh, hold, please.
Yeah, I don't see you. Okay, okay. I think you're having the same trouble that Wind Rider is having.
Let's see here.
Because I don't see you listed in the characters. So what I would suggest is you pick one of those blank templates that has the nonsense names in it under the journal tab and fill in the blanks, essentially.
Oh gosh.
Or run through the character mancer.
That's what I did. Characters.
Yeah, because however you created
Hold please.
I don't see that it is available to me.
Are you talking about mine?
There you go. It should be now.
You, really.
Okay. Well,
or actually, madam.
It should be now.
Because my setup is janky as hell. I've got no problem starting all over with it. All right, there you go. And a little foolish-ish.
Okay, so your character is in Roll20 characters?
It should be in there now.
See Leonard.
I think.
Okay. You'll want to be on like the, I guess, title screen. And where it says My Characters, there's theoretically a purple box that says Import.
Yeah.
Oh, where did I save it?
And then you will want to...
What, Ryder?
Oh, wait. Am I looking at the right thing here? Those are all my games.
I just need a picture! Chris is upstairs.
Yeah.
Add 2 game? Oh, okay, so is it the plus then?
I can't hear you, Ryder. What? Okay, you're gonna have to hang on a second, Bob.
Add this character to a game that you have access to.
What? No.
This was a lot easier back before it was. Oh, okay, there it is.
This is a pain in the butt.
Okay, so using the there should be a on the box that is your character from the title screen. There should be a plus on the side that says add, or that if you hover over it, it says add to game.
Yeah.
And then choose the.
I think mine's added.
Choose the game that you want that to go to, which would be Tales from Home: The Chained Coffin.
Holy shit! Spellless Artificer, yes. All right, cool. All right. Actually, let me do for sorcerer because the feat that I'm going to use for human
Alindra.
Magic Initiative.
Do you see it?
I see it.
Okay, cool.
You are. You're set.
My work here is done.
Well done. Okay. Your task is now complete. Okay. So
Does it look okay?
Ooh.
I do believe so. Let me take a peek. Level 5. Okay. Good.
I think I put everything in there right, but
Looks like it. Yeah. So you can play around with combat rolls, skill rolls, saving throws, and such. See how those work. You know how to do that?
maybe.
Yeah, so if you like wanted to make a strength saving throw, you just hover over strength or saving throws, punch it, and then it'll roll. I'll show you the result over on the little chat screen.
We will probably need a token or something for her as well.
Yeah, I'm gonna make her a token right fast.
We
She's
do
got
not
a
already have
she's
a
got
portrait.
yeah, she's got a character portrait. I just have to
Okay.
or I'm going to make a little pog. It. You probably saw it, but Hansel is out for tonight.
I did see that.
Okay, cool.
Class.
I'm gonna change you to advantage toggle.
Okay, so how did you do that again?
Cool. So if you were to use your longbow, shwoof.
How'd you do that?
Is it set to where it automatically makes damage? Does damage? Auto damage. Auto damage and crit. Set. Longbow again.
How'd you do that?
That's the way I like to see it. Unless during roleplay or narrative or combat, I say you have the advantage. You can pop into the little cog by the spells button, which is here, and roll queries. If you drop down that menu, it has a few options: always roll advantage, advantage toggle, query advantage, etc., etc. Otherwise, I like to keep it on advantage toggle. Just FYI. So there's no ambiguity during a roll. Hand axe. You see what I'm doing there in the chat roll in the chat screen?
Yeah, so I see that.
Mm-hmm.
How'd you do that?
So look on your character sheet and use your hand axe. Hover over your hand axe with your cursor and punch it.
The what?
It'll roll for you.
Sorry, my computer's being really slow all of a sudden.
Tasha's.
All right.
Tasha's cauldron of everything.
I have no idea what he. I have no idea what he said to do.
Dice option.
Am I just? What can I click on here?
Okay, I'm gonna get that log for you. There you go.
Did that work? Okay. I was trying to figure out like nothing was highlighting, but my computer is just being slow.
Yeah. Let me see. Can you punch it again? That's weird. Why is it when I do it, Okay, there you go. I was gonna say, why is it when I do it, it's not or when you do it, it wasn't showing damage, but it looks like it's showing damage now.
It's not showing an attack roll. I suspect that she is clicking on the actual damage code as opposed to clicking on
You're right. I was.
the weapon thing.
There you go.
You're right. I was. I was
There
like,
you go.
this is I don't know. I'm just clicking on things.
Just click it.
Oh, by all means, click on things. See what the stuff does.
Yeah.
That's how you learn.
Absolutely. Exactly. What'd you do for perception? 24. Well done. Okay. Yeah, that's fun. Clicking on things is fun. Anyway, let's see here.
Oh, darn it. That's weird.
What does that
has
do?
me,
Ooh.
for weapons, it's trying to get me to choose a specific type of weapon as opposed to the proficiency
Yeah.
of simple weapons.
Simple weapons is probably further down the list.
Oh, there. Okay, I see it. Thank you.
Token stamp. Token stamp 2. I forget what our tokens look like. What sort of border do we use? Try to be uniform. Oh, the good old classic coppery red. That guy.
I feel like I don't have enough computer screens.
How many are you running on?
Currently, 2.
Oh, yeah?
I've never needed more than one.
What are your dimensions? Wholesome.
Oh, okay.
Letterbox?
How big is your screen?
I mean,
I think I'm on a 15.
You know, it's about yay wide, and
Okay.
He's got a big
you
one.
know,
The one's so tall.
it's not like a huge screen, but I mean, you know,
Yeah.
I have to toggle between things, but
Yeah.
that's I do most of my work on, or most of my writing on my phone, so it's not like a huge inconvenience where that's concerned.
True.
Although one of the guys in one of my other games has like multiple screens, and he's always complaining about stuff too for reasons I haven't been able to understand.
Do you run games, Colson?
I do.
You just use one screen, period.
Yes.
You're very handy. I need my tablet, I need my phone, I need my laptop. I probably don't, but I do.
Because you can put like stuff in the journal tab, and you can just like have like your notes there, and just like have them pinned up into
This is
the
so
into the
bad.
screens. You can just like have those in the background, just tap over them when you need them.
You would think of as many games as I run, I would be a little bit more streamlined. I have trouble with that. Nalindra. Safe.
Oh, yeah, that's me.
Oh, I was just saying it. I wasn't summoning you.
Oh, okay.
I will side now, however, I can't actually see her in the companions list yet.
Where'd you go? Token. I'm trying to make her token, and sometimes it sticks and sometimes it doesn't. Alright, let's go back. Try again. Download, save as. No, please don't. Shh. It's okay. Settle down. Save.
Rough.
Hey, don't encourage him. She is. Boop.
Am I there?
Narendra has joined the party. Yeah, you're on the screen.
Oh, look, there I am. Why am I so large? Or is it just large for me?
Are you not an Amazonian elf?
No, I am. Well, I mean, not. I mean, I'm only 5'7", so I'm not really that tall.
Yeah, but that's like 5'7" and 5'7" and elvish feet. I mean, those elvish feet are huge.
Yeah, they are.
Coulson, I need to make your ring shinier. Okay, Nalindra, can you move your token? Probably not yet. Cannot. Nope. What's that? Controlled by. No. See. Okay, you should be able to move it. And try it.
Oh yeah, now it pops up. Yes, it can. I can move it. Ooh, what are the colors? Red, green, and blue.
And this is the problem that we have. Well,
Enter a new value into the box or enter a modifier. I don't know what those are for. I'm clicking things.
Oh, you do have it. Why?
I forgot. I keep forgetting I have push to talk on.
Oh, okay.
I'm over here just having a whole conversation with myself.
That's
And
cool.
oh, don't do that.
You just deaded yourself.
I did. I'm sorry. I'm just over here clicking things. I thought it was the close button box. It's not.
Coulson, I drug a new token onto the board for you.
I mean, if you
have any...
have to have something that's that shiny, I suppose. Although I would like the card
like
frame if given an option.
That is true. I can fix that. Let me do it.
darn it, it's not letting me. Okay, now I gotta go back to.
You've been watching the X-Men 97, Coulson?
I have not. I've been meaning to, but I just got done with Fallout.
Oh, Fallout was so good.
I still haven't finished. Shush. Shush.
That went places.
Oh, I can't wait to continue to see where it goes.
Oh, interesting.
It's very... I'd be curious to see if they're going to do a Fallout 5 that mirrors the show.
Actually, I thought I just read something about Fallout 5 being in Atlantic City.
Ooh. It's possible.
I
think
know if that was like a legit thing or not, but I remember like scrolling through a bunch of stuff and being like,
I shouldn't make
and
that face.
Moving on.
We're being nerdy. We're being nerdy.
I was watching it with somebody when it first dropped. I got to like the 3rd episode and it was time to call it a night. We parted ways. And I saw her today and she was like, "Did you finish Fallout?" I was like, "I've been waiting for you." I was like, "I finished it." I was like, "I hate you." I've been waiting for no reason whatsoever.
Terrible.
For the longest time, I've been waiting for like people just to watch it so I could talk about it. Nobody's watched it. And now I'm like, weeks have passed and everybody's starting to watch it and want to talk about it. And I'm like, I don't remember. I have to watch it again, I guess.
Whatever reason you need.
Is the music too loud? Is it too loud? Can you hear okay? Hi, I'm Adam. We're learning to play D&D.
Oh, puppy. Why's your belly crumbling? Okay. So remove that one and add this one.
Okay.
But anyway, X-Men 97. I wasn't a really big fan of when it was on originally in the 90s.
Can I make this a
I
square?
thought it was pretty good.
A circle?
know,
I mean,
some-
can I make this a circle?
I didn't like that era of costuming. Honestly, I do like Wolverine's.
That was the era
yellow and
of
blue.
costuming. That was like
No.
everybody in spandex. That was like pre-leather suit, man. That was like when we didn't have to. We could just be like, yeah, okay, man, spandex. It's a whole thing. We didn't have to know.
How do I make
what
this
the
round?
Spandex looked like. We didn't have to know what the leather looked like. We could just imagine that it all worked. And now it's just like, oh no, you got to have stuff that actually has to be able to move, and it can't just be all like tight because there's bulges in places, and folks get all weird about the bulges.
What about bulges?
See my point exactly. So now it's all got to be leather, or whatever the hell the Deadpool suit is made out of, because that's not leather.
Oh yeah.
Like I want to say canvas, but that doesn't feel right.
It's made out of hopes and dreams.
I mean, it's been stolen twice, so.
I'd like to steal it and the person that's in it.
I mean, I know that he's stolen it on at least one occasion, so.
He does. He takes it all the time, I feel like. I feel like he just
That
walks
guy
out
is a
with
maniac.
copies of it. Like, just I'm taking this home today. I sweated it and it's mine.
No, it's supposed to go someplace. No, it's got my ball sweat.
How do
in it.
I
What are
make
you gonna
this
do now?
round?
You can't do nothing. It's not like you can wash it. It's mine.
Hi. I'm not playing Minecraft right now.
Okay, there's your new thing.
Thought
If
I was
you
gonna
have any
what?
Additional bits and pieces to add to the back.
No,
Back
that
end
looks
of it.
fine. Let me just see if that is currently embedded in places what needs embedding. Alrighty. Yeah, no, I'm good.
Cool. Hold on, old Coulson. Welcome, new Coulson. You are appropriate size to everyone else. Cool. How you doing there, Wind Rider? What's going on, man?
Well, I'm trying to like redo the whole character, and it's coming along slowly.
I see. Hey, you're at least you're on the spells section. You're good. How's it going?
I think the problem I may have set up for myself is the level 1 artificer spells. They're like prepared spells, so you don't like know the one spell. You have the spell list selection for prepared, and I don't think it's going to let me do it because
Well, at the moment you're simply choosing the spells that you have loaded up at the moment, you can always delete them from the spells list and just scoot over new spells as needed. Although if it's a spell that's not in the SRD, you'll have to like enter the whole thing in.
Apparently I can't make this round.
I feel so stupid. What does SRD stand for? I should know this.
System reference document, it's basically the pre-5e version.
Thank you.
Okay.
You could have just handed it to me normal. You shook it.
I don't remember if the SRD or
Did you heat his food
whatever
up?
the new document is
Okay,
called.
yeah, go eat.
If it
Go
got
eat.
expanded to include like all of the player's handbook stuff, or if it's still like as limited as it used to be, where you can only do certain things.
I don't know how to make this round and it's bothering me.
I
Oh well.
gotta do a secondary personality trait. All right.
Oh well. Okay. I think at some point I'm gonna hang another screen or something, or put it on the desk. For when I D&D at least, because I have to have the screen open and my
Is that
character
the
sheet and
character
literally
art you're
all
going
of
to use. Are you
stuff that's on
satisfied with it?
Yeah.
The remote's on the table.
There's
The remote's on the
another
table.
one that I have, but I'm. It doesn't really show the person. It's just basically a guy in an armored trench coat carrying a rifle with a helmet on. So it's one of these. I'm not sure. Like, shows the character off as it probably should. So I'm gonna go with this one.
Okay, cool.
Da, 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 da.
Oh, you can't even see that. That's not worth it.
Flight changes. Basic bitch character. Now to upgrade it to 6th level. Okay.
I feel the struggle.
Do you see that little red thing that looks kind of like an anvil next to your class?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, hit that.
Yeah, when you click on it, it brings up a whole other slew of screens that I didn't know existed. That.
Oh yeah,
Wait.
that's the character mancer. That is incredibly useful.
I was like, oh, I clicked on this. Wait, what is all this stuff? Oh. And then I figured out where the remaining of my stuff that I was like, this isn't in here, comes from.
Yep.
Let me just drop a link in here for you folks, because I think this will be terribly useful for some of your stuff.
I'm like really excited to do this.
I'm going to drop this in the Discord with the droppiness and all of that.
Music ad.
This is
Burp.
the Wikidot, and that is most of the official stuff for the game, and probably some access to some of the unearthed arcana that you should probably just skip over for the time being until you have more chops. But that will have that will include the optional rules from Tasha's Cauldron of Everything, the additional subclasses from Tasha's and from Xanathar's, and it will also have all of the player's handbook stuff on the offhand chance that's not currently available in the what we have currently. The alternate rules for Ranger might be of particular interest to you.
I like reading things, so this is
The
cool.
level up tool does not support custom classes at this time.
No, sir, it does not. But it will take care of your hit points or your spell slots. And then once you're up to level 6, then you can start adding all of the wackiness that needs to be added. Which, by the way, Artificer is amongst the classes shown on the Wikidot, so you can just do a cut and paste of most of your abilities, and that'll save you some trouble.
This is really cool. I'm not gonna lie. I'm being a nerd right now.
I think you're in the right place for it.
I watch a lot of D&D. We have a lot of streamer friends that play D&D. So I was like, I want to do this.
How can I raise my camera?
Oh, goodness.
How can can I raise my level if I want me to raise my level? Features.
Are you asking?
In that case,
What?
click on your character sheet. Let's see. Which character sheet do you want?
There's two of them.
Well, I am, yeah, I'm currently working on the one that I'm hoping to keep, which is,
Is it the one with the portrait or the one without the portrait?
the one without the portrait.
And here we go. Cogwheel. See where it says level?
Robert would be so proud.
Let me back out.
Buddy would be proud. His East Coast, West Coast. He's West Coast. Wrong compass.
You have class artificer subclass, which is currently.
That's what I'm
blank, so if
saying.
You're going with artificer, then you have level. Level is currently set to 1.
Weast.
What level did we decide we were starting these guys at?
You told me 5, so that's what I did.
I heard
Okay.
5 or 6. Ding, ding.
We'll change the level to 5. And that should, okay, your proficiency bonus is there. We'll have to adjust your hit point maximum. For your hit point maximum, we can go to the die roller and we can just roll 5d8. Or we can just take the average, which is 20 plus your constitution, 28,
Are you talking
and
to
tack that onto your hit points.
Come on. Okay. That's the top one.
Was that for wind?
Yeah.
Okay, I was just making sure. I don't want to miss anything. I'm afraid I'm going to miss something.
Okay, alright. Constitution bonus is 2 plus 4 plus. So we're doing level 5.
Ooh, what's that? I'm just taking this push to talk off. There we go. I'll just toggle the mute. What's wrong? I didn't. Why, how'd you get food on your shoulder? He's got lasagna all over his face. And on his shirt. I don't know how he got lasagna on his shirt.
Artificer.
The cake is crumbly. I don't even. I'm surprised there's. He's fake running. I'm surprised there's even cupcakes in there because they've been in there since Wednesday. I'm surprised they survived. Like he did the ice cream. Like he did the ice cream. I literally got one bowl of ice cream. Like, that's what I'm saying. We need to bring that refrigerator down here. Yeah. The fridge freezer from the garage. No. I want to clean. I mean, it's a big refrigerator in the garage. I want to clean out. I need to clean up the shop. So if I can get that out of there and give myself a little bit more room to store stuff over there, then that would be perfect. I don't want to put the freezers down. I mean, we could put the freezers down here, but I think that would be too much. That's what I'm saying. Like, it'd probably be too much. I could have my uncle come and do the outlet. Oh, right. And it gets it out of the garage, which gives me more workspace. But yeah. Well, the deep freezer, the long one, that was on the balcony in Japan because it was completely like covered like a high-rise tower balcony is. Yeah. It's old. There's nothing in it. We could just unplug them. Well, that one at least. Or move everything from the big one, the standing one, into that one and let that one thaw.
Alinder, do you have an idea for your biography, your background for your character?
If I fix that
Let's see,
outlet over there, we
like,
could
personality traits and ideals.
So
and
your
such.
workshop right now has that in there. I
Do you
want a
have
pole
any
building.
ideas that you want to put into a biography that you can bring into game? Feel free to
Yeah,
do
to
so.
free up
You can't do woodwork in that.
the... Yeah. No. You don't do woodwork anyway. Not since we finished the floor. We have all that wood in there. I could... Yeah, how many times we do this? Twice?
My bits are starting to cramp.
Yeah.
Hey, Colson, when you run games, what kind of games do you run?
The game that I'm currently running is a post-apocalypse game where my
Ooh.
players are basically a long-haul trucking crew, and it's basically just D&D 5e, except that I've added like guns and the occasional mutation and the occasional ultra technology object.
Cool.
That's cool.
And then I'm working on a Transformers game,
Ooh.
Yes.
which is
But you have a.
it was kind of hard to wrap my head around until I realized that all you really have when you're a Transformer is you're just automatically a mount, and then that's it. You're pretty well done. So I just have to come up with the rules for the mount. It's like,
And you have
I
a
don't know
slot
if you
for the
played
other
World of
thing.
Warcraft, but
Huh?
probably about a decade ago they introduced the Wolfen, and every race has its own mount except for the Wolfen. The Wolfen, what they do is they transform into their wolf version and then they just run on all fours. And that's it. That's the Wolfen mount. That's the whole thing. That's basically a Transformer.
It's kind of genius.
So, it's cool, but yeah, no, that's totally a thing. So now I
Yeah,
just
that
gotta
was-
finish. I gotta finish like working out what the various vehicle forms do. 'Cause
Nice.
you don't want to be like too ridiculous with what they get. And then there's the whole problem with vehicles in Dungeons and Dragons are stupidly slow. like 100 feet around sounds really fast, but 100 feet around is like 100 feet in 6 seconds. That's about 10 miles an hour.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So if you're going to have a mount, that if your vehicle mode is going to be doing something like 60, 70, 80, God forbid you take a jet mode, like I got to figure out that math too. That's a thing I'm still kind of working out. Although I've got a couple of ideas for it that I'm still kind of mathing out.
So this is a weird question, but do you have campaigns that don't have players in them that you need players for?
I am actually full up on the single campaign that I run, and I'm currently on hiatus because I ran into sort of a writer's block, and so somebody else is running the campaign currently. We're playing Earth Dawn, which is a setting that is absolutely brilliant, but the mechanics make me want to throw heavy objects. Which is like Rifts. Rifts also wonderful setting, terrible math.
I feel the same about Numenaria.
Isn't that the Pathfinder semi-apocalypse island?
No. Well, it may be, but there is a game called Numenaria where basically it is I think it's like about 1,000,000 or 2,000,000 years in the future, and humanity grew to such a technological extent that they were like able to be like as technologically advanced as the old ones, and they left Earth, and some stayed, and there was this big apocalypse that happened eons ago, and nobody knows what it was, and basically everyone that remains on Earth is either weird in some way and mutated because what's left behind left behind is layers and layers of old technology of varying degrees to reality manipulating technology to nanites to simple bows and arrows, and it's an interesting setting because it's very John Carter, very John Carter, Fighting Man of Mars like, in its type of weirdness. It's a really interesting setting, but the way that the game is meant to be set up in its how it runs is it gets a little iffy because everything is based on like these magical items ostensibly, and the problem is you are only allowed to have like about 4 of these magical items on you at a time because because they react weirdly if there's more than like 4 of them, and it because it is they react weirdly. You're supposed to be continually spending them and finding them like candy, and it's an interesting idea, but their way of handling things is there are light weapons, medium weapons, and heavy weapons, and there's medium armor, light armor, medium armor, and heavy armor, and that's it as far as game complexity is basically you have to roll above your the class of your competitor's armor, and but it's so incredibly simple that it's too simple because you're like, this gives a whole bunch of opportunities to have weird, strange, unique objects that you can deal with, but then they kind of like hand wave it all away, which is like really sad in my opinion.
I'll have to look up that one. It's not too far off from what they decided was the backstory for the most recent edition of Gamma World that they put out.
It's, I guess you could say it's sort of, it has a similar, taste to Gamma World, except a little less wacky, I guess is the best way to describe it.
Well, the most recent edition of Gamma World was wacky. The editions before then were a little less so.
I have no idea what you guys are talking about.
So Gamma World was Gamma World was a post-apocalypse game that came out in the same era as like early Dungeons and Dragons.
Mm.
And it was done by the same guys, and the mechanics were fairly similar. But they tried to do, a lot of weird stuff because it was the post-apocalypse. And then it got handed off to another game company when TSR started getting weird, and it bounced around a bit before it finally ended up back in the hands of Wizards of the Coast. And Wizards of the Coast, in their most recent edition, decided to do a 4th edition light version of it. So it used the core rules of 4th edition Dungeons and Dragons, which, for all of the heat that game gets, is nowhere near as bad as people say it is. And it was a grossly simplified version of the rules. It only went up to like level 10. But the premise of the of Gamma World was that the Hadron Super Collider had ripped a hole in reality, and for like 45 seconds, all realities existed at once in this place. And then it all just stopped. And that was the disaster that created the Gamma World. For some reason, a particular town in Wisconsin was nuked 27 times, and nobody
Jeez.
really understands why.
Well,
But
what
that happened
town?
For some reason,
What town?
I would have to find my book for that.
So, Gary Gygax
it was,
actually retired in Lake Geneva.
I do not believe it was Lake Geneva, but now I'm curious. Let's see, is it accessible? No, that book is not where it should be sitting. Oh, no, that's not it either. No. Well, feels like there's an extra book in this pile. Maybe this is it. Nope, that one.
So yeah, I sent a picture of my copy of Numenera.
Oh, there it is.
Ooh, what's this? Things are moving. Looks like a tavern, maybe.
Yeah.
Here we go.
All good adventures start in a tavern.
Cold War went nuclear in 83% of the possible universes, and in 3% of the possible universes, the French unloaded their entire nuclear arsenal on the town of Peshtigo, Wisconsin.
Huh. Wow, that's kind of up. That's up there. What is that? Oh, that's north of Green Bay. I live in Wisconsin. That's why I was curious.
Mm-hmm. No, I get that.
I was like, ooh. Yeah. There's lots of D&D history in Wisconsin.
Yeah, there be.
And also cheese.
Cheese is so good though. Like, so McDonald's did a limited time run with cheese curds, and let me tell you, oh my god, they were so good.
We got a run of cheese curds out here, but it was KFC that did it.
Ooh, I don't. Have you ever heard of Cousin Subs?
I have not. I don't think we've got them out here.
What about Jersey Mike's?
Jersey Mike's we got.
Okay, so Cousin Subs is just like Jersey Mike's, except Cousin Subs has cheese curds.
Diabolical.
They're so good. And we have Culver's. They have cheese. You can the squeakier the cheese, the better. Like you can get gas station cheese, and usually, like I wouldn't trust something like that. Except here, gas station cheese curds are really good, and they squeak when you eat them.
That implies that they are not recent from the fryer.
They're not fried. They're like legitimate like. So cheese curds are actually skimmed fat off the top of processed milk that are allowed to curdle and cure. So it's literally like a curd of
I
milk.
thought the whole shtick was like you guys just took a big old chunk of cheese and cut it into like chunks and deep fried it and tossed it in the fryer.
No, you can get fried cheese. There's different kinds. So you have actual cheese curds, which are like the skimmed fat off of the top of like refined milk. And then you have fried cheese curds, which is the curd that's dipped in batter that is then fried.
As God intended.
It's not actual cheese, which is funny. It's the top of cheese. It's weird. It's the curd of milk. That's literally what a cheese curd is milk curd. So like when your milk spoils, the curds that you get in there, that's technically cheese curd.
You eat it.
Don't eat it
It's
though.
still good.
It's really bad for you. It's a bad time.
I mean, it's basically just solid yogurt at that point, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's salty, not sweet.
Hmm.
It's so good. This is kind of exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit. Plus, I'm meeting new people, which is
That's always fun.
fun.
I'm just building us a little scene that we can start on once we're ready. I'm thinking we're pretty close too. Yeah. Yeah.
I think so.
How we looking, Wind?
What's up, Leo? Let's go.
That's the silence of rage. Wholehearted rage.
Full-throated.
So what's the frequency that we will play?
We're on an every other week situation currently.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I mean, I can do every weekend or during the week as long as it's... Well, you guys are 2 hours behind me, so it's a win for me.
Speaking of, how late can you go? Because it's 10:20 where you're at. Looks like.
I'm a responsible adult and I can go as long as I need to.
Okay, just checking.
That's what everybody says until they have to get up in the morning.
Nah.
Yep.
I honestly, I usually go to bed about midnight, 12:30,
Okay, that sounds reasonable.
which is like 10:30 your time.
Hmm.
But if we go longer than that, I don't really care.
Well, I have to be at work at 8,
Yeah.
so like more than about 10:30, and I'm gonna start dozing.
I'm
What
sure
time
we'll
is it
keep
now
your
for
interest
Copenhagen?
it interesting.
Yeah.
You and I
do
literally
you
live
get?
in the same city.
Do you live in Seattle?
I mean, I'm north of Seattle, but yeah.
Why did I not know this? And why have we not sat down for a beer and meal?
was
Because you
born
have
and
been
raised in Seattle.
fantastically busy, and I have also been fantastically busy.
Oh man. Okay, well now I know, so we need to make it happen at some point.
My dad
I had
worked
no
at
idea.
Microwave Mart.
Oh, that's cool. What am I looking for? There it is. Nope, that's not it. Hey Leo, when you're ready, let us know, and we can at least set up what's gonna happen before people start having to go to bed. I mean, if your stats and such are ready to jump into it, would be cool. Yeah, I'm just gonna use this because it's fine. That's a nice placeholder.
Huh.
Hmm.
Interesting.
Leah, I'm going to just show you something here real quick that I think might be of interest and amusement. You can take a light crossbow item from the compendium and drop that into your inventory, and it will automatically give you the weapon stats up here in your attacks and spellcasting section.
Oh, wait. What, okay. Sorry, I was looking away for a minute. What was that?
I just dropped a light crossbow from the compendium into your inventory. And you will see that it also gives you the weight of the light crossbow, and it also puts a light crossbow into your attacks and spellcasting. So you can just click on the crossbow, and that will give you an attack with it. You can also take said light crossbow, change out the stats of it. Oops, that's not how you spell musket.
It's close enough.
And now that can basically take the... you can use that for your musket attack.
There you go.
So you now have that available to you, and then you can just fiddle with that when you throw whatever whammies you have on your hardware.
No whammy, no whammy.
Okay. I'm working on it. All right.
You can do the same thing with your armor, where you can drag leather armor from items, and it will automatically add to your armor class.
Okay.
Who dat? myself comfortable. Pardon me. Go, buddy. Go, buddy.
Nope, that's not what I wanted to click on.
On your character sheet if I'm messing things up for you.
Whom,
Trying to read
mine?
your trait. Yeah.
No, you're good. I was just messing with large screen, small screen,
Oh, okay.
full screen. Aha! There we go. It's F11. I was trying to figure out what the shortcut was.
High elf. Okay.
Introduction and travel post.
Okay. Okay.
Oh, so I should probably mention that I have a since I gotta have various tools and all that. I have a pack mule named Charles that I keep all my tools when I'm not using it on.
Okay. Sounds good.
That could come in handy.
Yeah.
Now, granted, one of my infusion options is bag of holding and all that, but even a bag of holding can only hold so much.
True.
Right tool for the job lets you only require like one set of tools, and you can just swap them into whatever you need them to be for. What is it?
That's fair. I'll probably have to Okay, yeah, that's a good point.
I mean,
And
it does
another thing
require an
that I
hour
was,
of setup, but
Yeah. Well, another thing I was thinking of doing is at some point creating a all-purpose tool, which is a magical item that's like artificer specific. But that's a down the road thing.
Admittedly, I once played a dwarf ranger that had a riding dog that accompanied him, and the dog was just there to carry the 2 casks of ale that I traveled with.
I mean, you got to be prepared.
Yes. The riding dog was too small to ride because I was a dwarf, so I was a medium-sized critter, but, I wasn't going to carry the 2 casks of ale by myself. That's just silly.
Mm.
Well, that's weird.
What was it?
My character sheet says that I don't have permission to view this character.
What have you done?
I hit refresh.
You might have to revisit the permissions on that character sheet. Let me rephrase that. Bo will have to.
Yeah.
Johnny will have to revisit the character sheet.
Well, it says shared with 2 players. She'll be able to see it.
Let me just close this and reopen it.
Be right back.
Okay.
There we go. Now I won't get confused. There we go.
It still says that I don't have. That's weird.
Still not letting you?
Mm-mm.
Okay, we'll look at it. Alright, I have added your character arc, Leo.
Alright, cool.
Let's see. Let me exit game and come back and see if that does anything for you. Exit. And launch. I'd imagine that's the deal. Oh, I see it. I understand now. Never mind. Okay, you should be okay now.
Ta-da. Oh, no. Let me refresh. Huh. It still says I don't have permission to view this character.
What? That's great. Okay, so we'll enjoy.
Just had to refresh the page.
Okay. Can you try it now?
Nope.
What the heck, man?
I don't know.
Huh.
That's weird.
Interesting.
Are we still having problems?
Yeah, she can't look at her character sheet now, but nothing has changed. Neither one of us did anything. It just suddenly doesn't want to. Did you get out of Roll20 entirely and log back into it?
No,
Uh,
I can.
Yeah, I would try that.
If you want to give me temporary GM access, I can take a look at it.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Can you do anything with that? Oh yeah, you got up zeros. Neither?
No, that didn't work either.
That's interesting because I can see her.
Huh.
And I have full access to the character sheet.
Yeah, it won't let me open it. Says you do not have permission to view this character. Contact your game master for help.
Okay, Johnny, go to the edit button at the top of the character sheet
Okay.
and check the permissions for who can see it and who can edit it.
Yeah, she's there. Let's see. Yeah, it's me, you, and her. Player journals can be edited and controlled by. Listen, can you see and manipulate your character sheet?
In order to mess it up, you'll have to refresh your page. Because that's all I did was hit refresh.
Oh, heck.
What if I remove her from the game and then re-add her?
No, you shouldn't need to do that. Like, the fact that I can see your character sheet should be an indication that you have access to it.
Okay, I'm gonna remove both of you and then add you back.
It's weird.
So
Leave it to me to have technical difficulties.
Interesting.
Also, lesson learned not to refresh a page.
Okay, how do you feel about that? Did that do anything for you?
Nope.
Hugger of Pearl. Okay, well, let's do that. I doubt it's me, but I'm shutting my tab entirely and logging out of it. And I'll come back in. I can't imagine.
Having health insurance is important.
Confidential.
We are just going to open a whole new browser.
Yeah, I'm assuming you popped out because I don't see you anymore.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nope.
Super fantastic. Love it. Love it. I don't see you in the game.
I'm coming.
Okay. There you are. Okay, so you popped in. You're among us.
It's so weird.
Leo, are you using the character sheet that actually has your name on it, or the number one?
Number one is Leo's old one.
I mean, yeah, the number one is the old one. So I'm using the one that has the name. I named it one so I wouldn't confuse it.
Okay.
Let me back out and re-enter the game. I'll be right back.
Okay, so let me make a copy of it.
Weird.
That's weird. But it still won't let me open the old one.
Still broken.
Does the new one work?
Yeah, the new one works.
Okay.
All right. Well. Okay. All right, Leo, do you have enough set in your character that we can do some role playing and get your characters into story?
I
I
think
we
so.
do.
Yeah.
You look pretty swell, pretty good to go. I'm sure there are some tweaks or something in there.
Yeah. There's yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because I do need to set aside some hours to clean my house before I have guests for breakfast in the morning. I don't know why I scheduled that, but I did.
Because it's Sunday, and
So,
that's just the sort of thing you do.
Well, my golden retriever puppy's sister is coming over to visit for her obedience class, which is at 10. So they're coming over at 9.
Nice.
Play around in the yard.
Do you
But
do you want me to add the second character sheet to the game?
You're gonna need to manipulate it. Yeah.
Okay. I just
do that.
I wasn't sure.
Yeah. I'm sure you'll need to make some rolls here in a minute.
Okay, so I added the new one, and I'm going to open this before something happens, and I'm not going to touch it again. Okay, window has been moved. It is on a different screen. I'm not going to hit reload. What a nightmare.
Okay, so there's Nalindra down there.
Make this full screen.
I am not gonna add it. I'm not gonna add myself to it. Okay, so you're on the map.
There we go.
B.
And I can move it.
Can you move your? You can move it.
Yep.
Can you? Okay, I believe you. It didn't move on my map, but that's neither here nor there. Oh, there it goes. Now you're moving.
I didn't actually move it. I just looked for the cursor to change.
Okay.
But it is movable.
I need permissions to move mine, though.
I don't know how to move mine. I'm utter noob town.
There we go.
There you go. Should be fine. So, we're all in a tavern. What we need to discuss between the two of you is that we're going to say that y'all have been traveling together. I'm going to start this. Let's see. Flavor. Hopefully it's not annoying. The reason we need to come up with a reason why the two of you are traveling together. I would be willing to posit that you have teamed up because you have been on a search, a journey for a sacred location in the middle of this area called the Shutter Mountains. I will let the two of you decide why you are looking for this sacred location. Whether it be from the aspect that you are maybe treasure hunters, or maybe you are intrigued by ancient histories. Maybe you're looking for answers for something that is in your character's background from your homelands. What are you feeling? You know more about your characters than I do, obviously. What is your gut reaction when I tell you that you are in the middle of pretty much the wilderness looking for uh, something that an area that no one you've spoken to has ever been able to find, be it an artifact or an area?
Well, I'd say Leonard's probably treasure hunting because ultimately he's looking for funding for his stuff. So treasure hunting seems to work for him.
Okay.
So I'm looking for ancestry information. I'm the last of my tribe, and my only goal is one, build that back history, and there is something in this secret location that could lead me to that direction and to find that history. And I just so happen to pick up this guy who also is looking for the secret location.
So, Nalindra, you're coming at it from a heritage aspect. You believe, you've been told, that there is a lost library of some sort in the wilderness. You've pinpointed it at least to be in the Shutter Mountains, which is where you are now currently. It's like Appalachia of the United States, the Blue Ridge Mountains and that sort of spot. So, really steep, old ancient mountains covered in wilderness and pretty much persistently misty and wet. Ever so often, the mists and the clouds would part to allow the sunshine in, and you would come across a glade here and there that's just teeming with flora and fauna. Also, it's a very dangerous location you've been traveling through previously, and you feel like you've been stalked by creatures that live in the wilderness. You've managed to avoid being, clearly, you've managed to avoid being attacked by them, but you have heard them at night and seen their glowing eyes surrounding you, but they have not messed with you as yet. And you've managed to make it to this little village called Bent Pine. Now, Leo, you said you're kind of like a treasure hunter situation. You believe that this location actually has something clearly of monetary value to you, if not technological value. You think that it's quite possible it could be a library of some sort, but it might also just be a repository that has some sort of technological gear that you would like to get your hands on, some sort of maybe a ancient mechanisms that you could use to you could integrate into your own designs. So you're kind of coming, the two of you are separately
This is so
coming
cool.
at this from different angles, but you have similar goals. Now, you've made it to the Shutter Mountains, so you know you're in the area, but you don't know exactly where this location is. But you have heard referenced as Lusail. Don't know if that is a mountaintop, if it's a glade, if it's a river. You've just heard and read this word repeated in various texts, scrolls, on the lips of others in taverns that you've traveled through, as you finally made it here. And you feel that you are in the closest. I feel like you're pretty close in your adventure. And let's see. It's Luhsaal. Lusail. You've come to this tavern, trying to gather some info. You've hit a dead end. You've been here for pretty much half a day. You've had your meal. Colson, we're gonna say that what happened last we met was the previous day.
Okay.
And it looks like you and Onan are here in the tavern having your break fast. The
So I
others
assume
are,
we've had a long rest since then.
yes.
Okay.
The others are still hanging out at that dilapidated shack. They are getting the camp ready, getting ready to figure out your next movements, essentially.
Well, they're not going
So the
anywhere without me. So.
Yeah.
Well, I'm the
Tavern
one
is
with Tensor's floating disc, so the box isn't going anywhere unless I'm going. So.
So, as represented on the map, the tavern is relatively empty, except for the barkeep slash cook. He's a gnomish fella. Here.
Mike.
Oh, he's large.
He's huge. He's kicking around. He was the one that cooked your meals, served you, and he's back here doing barkeepery things, getting ready for the day. A few people come in, and then they get a few slices of bacon, maybe a side of ham, eggs, and they wander out or off to a table to sit by themselves. Now, Conan is sitting here with you, Coulson, and he has engaged you, or wishes to engage you, in one of your fancy card games to pass the morning until we figure out exactly what's going on. Where are we off to this time?
I had actually
Really
sort of
dragging it.
assumed that we had already set up a game and that we were playing for whatever the barkeep keeps around for snacky stuff. So it's either pretzels, peanuts, or the chips that came with our breakfast.
Okay.
I'm good either way. It's low stakes stuff. We're just killing time. But yeah, if I'm teaching him how to play, so much the better.
All right. So he has a big wooden bowl, big steaming wooden bowl full of potatoes that he's mashing up with his fingers and applying salts and peppers and other spices from his belt pack. Very odoriferous herbs that he has up there on the table, little bags of little sachets that he's popped open, and he's just sprinkling all over his food as he eats and watches you deal the cards for the next hand. Now you, as you're doing this, Coulson, you overhear this group over here, these two. Your ears perk up when you hear that word, Lucille, amongst their conversation. Otherwise, it's generally a murmur between the two of them.
I will continue to play the game, but I will be paying attention to whatever they are doing at the moment.
Okay.
And I will attempt to get a read from them.
Right. The two of you've been traveling by map. A hand-drawn map that Alindra, you had picked up, and you've pretty much reached a dead end. You don't have a map of this general area, so you were kind of hoping to find one here in Bent Pine, or maybe somebody who could describe the region to you so that you may better traverse it. Now, when you were talking to this fellow up here, the barkeep, his name is Gizmondo, by the way. When you had spoken to the barkeep, you walked in and was ordering your food and drink. He was pretty much dissuading you. Oh no, you shouldn't go into the forest. No. Not the likes of you. You're clearly unprepared. It's dangerous. I'm surprised you actually made it this far. As he had been loading up your plates and such. And you kind of get the impression that he pretty much just wants to keep you around so that you spend all of your coin in his tavern. He's not very forthcoming of much info, at least to you, Nilindra. He kind of eyes you suspiciously, actually. But he also eyes your purse. Anywho, so you've been talking with Leo about your moves. What are you gonna do here? I respect that. Game recognizes game. Can I get from the two of you since we're sitting here. Let's do companions. Let's see, Leonard. Can I get from you a classic perception check?
Okay.
Just hop in there, punch that. Should roll it as long as everything's set up. Please be quiet. If you're having trouble, I can punch it for you.
Yeah, sorry. I'm really new to mechanics
Okay.
here. Sorry.
Yeah, no, it's okay. So on your character sheet, to the left-hand side on your skills list, let's find perception, which is over halfway down the list. Yeah, and just poke it. Poke it with your cursor, and it should roll.
Oh,
There it is.
there you
Go with
go.
the bottom
Accidentally
one.
did it twice.
That's okay. Hey, you know what? I'm just gonna go ahead. That was a nice roll. I'm just gonna give you advantage on that because for funsies' sake. So you notice these two down here. You can really, what really draws your attention actually is that the dwarf is just mawing down quite loudly, smacking on his bowl of potatoes, and you catch a whiff of the spices that are wafting in your direction, and it's almost making you want to sneeze. And you look over because you're about to get a little bit irritated about it, and you're thinking about saying something. Let me check something on your character sheet right fast. Do you have enough tact to do that? Do me a wisdom. Yeah, do a wisdom save. Okay, yeah, you think better of it when you notice, first of all, how strapped this dwarf is. Also, when you turn to look at that table, you notice this fella here who's shuffling some cards. He's not looking directly at you, but you can tell that he's like side-eyeing the table. And then he starts dealing the cards to his dwarven friend. You feel like you have drawn the attention of that fella for some reason. You don't know why. And y'all can
So yeah, Leonard would. Yeah. So Leonard kind of like
What's that?
moves his eyes toward, signals his eyes toward the other table while trying to not be seen, to try and like get her to pay attention to the other table. If I'm making sense.
This is fun. So why don't you roll for me? Or actually, Nalindra, roll insight. I'll give you an advantage on this. You can just roll it, and I will add the modifier. You don't have to change anything. Give you a +3 on your roll. I'll do it. Yeah, you've been traveling with Leo long enough that you catch on that he wants you to down at that table, just glance down at it, over at it. Olsen, how about you? Can you give me a perception check?
I could. Do you want perception or insight?
Let's do insight.
Good, because I actually took insight.
Okay, so you are all very aware of each other, but you're not purposely not letting the other party know that you are aware. And it's not that hard to do, considering you were the only two parties on this side of the room. However, being quite coy about it. And notices Coulson Odin notices that you've been tossing him, dealing out cards to him, and he's like, he holds up his meaty fist and he says, "Hold on a minute, isn't this the game where we're only supposed to have 8 cards? You've clearly given me 12."
Yeah, that's the rules for fish. We're gonna change up a bit. We're gonna go fishing. There's fishing to be done.
Advanced play. Very well.
Oh yes. Now in this one, my goodness, your stomach. Now in this one, you just want to get like clusters of the same card. You're gonna ask me if I have like any of the cards that you need to get a cluster of the cards. And when you have all 4 of the same card, then you can put that down. And if you ask me for a card I don't have that you say, then I will tell you, go fish.
So he doesn't pick up his cards, just still splayed there in front of him, and he has his fingers dangling over his bowl, and he just says, "Do you have a 3 of diamonds?"
I pull out a
Doesn't
3
even know
of
what
diamonds. I pull out a 3 of
Doesn't even know what
diamonds
cards he
and toss
has.
it to him.
Oh, he is quite pleased. How about a 3 of hearts?
I
Still
should
hasn't looked at his cards.
probably point out that you need to ask me for cards you already have.
Oh, okay. He starts licking his fingers and he shuffles up the cards and starts. And of course, as on cue, my dogs need to go potty. I'll be right back.
Already?
Come on, guys. quick.
This is fun.
Alright, man, geez.
So do you guys want to wander over to the table and impose, or do you want me to invite you?
I think I might wander. Johnny said something earlier that I think could be useful to make that wander over.
I mean, to be fair, we don't actually need him for this part, if you are thusly inclined.
I mean, we could.
Just saying. At the moment, I'm trying to teach my my dwarven companion how to play Go Fish, but only because I need to switch over to a less thought-intensive game because I'm keeping an eye on you two.
Okay, yeah, so you're figuring out if you're going to wander over then?
Oh, he was listening.
Oh, yeah, I can hear the whole thing.
No secrets.
I have earbuds. We're good.
That's fair.
Yes, what do you do? I'm going to mute because the dogs are starting to play now, but go ahead.
So Nalindra looks down at the table at the half-eaten food on her plate and very coyly mentions to Leo, "We have a map where we are stuck. It goes no further. Do you think those gentlemen sitting over there paying attention to what we are doing could give us some guidance and draw us a new map?" And she pushes out her chair and slowly stands up, meanders towards them, not making eye contact, but just moves coyly and watches and approaches the table.
Yeah, Leonard will like give her like a couple of feet to like move before following because he doesn't want to like seem too threatening. Just like backing the play as opposed to bringing the heat. Does that make sense?
So are you moving over, or are you still staying at your table?
I'm trying to figure out how to move.
You just
As
click.
I said,
You can click
manual.
on it if you hover and hold, and you can drag.
Johnny, can you double check and make sure he's got access to his token?
Oh, he's a cute little puppy.
Hey, puppy.
Okay, you should be good to go.
There we go. Here we go. Good. There we go. Just close enough to offer support, but this is her play. I'll let her run.
Now, are you interested in joining the game?
Onan, he's like fumbling with his cards. They're covered in potato grease.
I know. I'm gonna have to prestidigitation these things like every goddamn time we play. Fortunate I'm using the good deck.
When I forget, are you half elf or elf? You're half elf, right?
Me or her?
Oh, Alindra. You know.
Do I know?
Do you know? You are
That's
elf.
a deeper
It would be
question.
stupid not to know.
You are a high elf. Okay, cool. So, let's see. Can I get from you, considering that, let's see. Let's do an opposed check between you and Onan. How about, what would be good here? Opposed charisma? Maybe? We'll go with that. Let's go with charisma. Charisma save.
So all I have to do is click on charisma, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm saving a bit.
Ooh.
Okay. All right. So he is startled when you sneak up by him. Well, you're just walking, but you just basically suddenly appear there since you are so elfy. You catch him off guard, and he clutches at his bowl of potatoes protectively. Looks up at you. His brow furrows. Then his face softens quite a bit. You can see that he is following the curvature of your face, the points of your ears. And you have encountered dwarves before, and you've never really been too, let's just say, enamored with you. You've always struggled to have a friendship with any sort of dwarf. This one seems different. His face falls and he softens and he actually blushes slightly, ever so slightly. But it may just be the spices that he is taking in. He immediately stands up from his chair, and even standing, he only comes up to his nose comes up to your chin. He backs away, still clutching his bowl of potatoes, leaving his cards scattered on the table, and offers you his seat through a mouthful of potato. Pardon, madam. Do you wish to join us?
Silly man. I'm just curious to see what you guys are playing.
Are you looking to join the game, darling?
What is it What is it that you're playing?
Well, now, we can be flexible on the rules. Are you familiar with 5-card draw?
I don't think I've ever heard of it in my time.
are you willing to learn?
It depends. If you teach me, what do I get in return?
Well, now I do believe as the teacher, recompense will be coming in my direction.
That's not how it works where I'm from.
Where you're from, people pay to be taught?
Absolutely. I am receiving your wisdom, and in return, you pay me something of kindness.
Would not the kindness be the receiving of the wisdom?
No. No, it would not.
That is a fascinating dichotomy.
You should learn it sometime. I'd be more than happy to
now.
teach you.
I have met a number of people who believe that their presence is worth an astonishing amount of capital.
I don't think you've met anyone like me before.
Or perhaps I've met quite a few people like you.
Interesting turn of events. Please
Now then.
tell me more of what you know of my people.
Oh, I don't know anything about your people, but I know folks like you.
Do tell me more.
Well, now, why not have a seat and we can discuss this over a couple of hands?
All right, then. But be wary that I don't know the rules.
Well, that is the point of teaching. You'll just
And
have
with
to
that, I think
accept that we're doing this my style.
Onan gestures for you to please take his seat. He hurriedly gathers up his little packets and scooches them across the table away from you, out of your way, and he, with his thick, meaty, stumpy hand, brushes the little droppings that are on the tabletop onto the floor, and then, embarrassingly realizing he's just made a bigger mess, kind of shuffles his boot across the floor, pushing them away. He'll back off over here next to Coulson.
You want to get dealt into this here, Onan?
Oh no, please, lady. He blushes a little bit when he says the lady. Says, she deserves your entire focus, Coulson.
Oh, I'm sure. On the other hand, it is a little distracting to have you standing there the entire time. Either pull up a seat or, like, pick another table. Speaking of other tables, I don't suppose your friend would like to get dealt in as well.
Why don't you ask
What's
him?
Theo doing?
Well, that question was directed at Nalindra, but I was looking at Leo.
And he kind of like sidles up to the chair to basically face you, but he's sitting on this little stool here. And he's like, "It's not really my game. I'm more like a Texas Hold'em man. Spent time there after all."
I'm not familiar with Texas Hold'em.
Where is this mystical land?
It's a Texas.
One would assume.
It's
So I'll scoot myself
it's an
over
odd
here
game. It's like,
to accommodate
it's
one
not
or
a
both of them.
game that there you go. But yeah, Texas Hold'em's an odd game where everybody tends to play with the same cards against each other.
That sounds vaguely like
Anyway.
stud. Must be some additional
Somewhat.
rules for that.
Oh yeah.
So Nalindra, you can hear with your elvish ears that Onan the dwarf has gone to the barkeep and he's ordering up another round of drinks. And more potatoes, please.
So I will deal out hands of cards. while explaining the rules to those who do not understand. And once the hands are dealt out, so what gives or what makes you curious about me and mine?
Leonard looks at his companion and lets her do all the talking.
Nilindra raises an eyebrow and just sheepishly smiles and slowly sits in this short table and chair awkwardly. We're just curious to know if you know the area and overheard you playing a game. Never heard of it before, so I was curious to see what you were playing.
It's a little something to pass the time while our companions try to decide where it is we're going next.
And
But I
have you any
understand-
thoughts?
I understand you have understanding of Lusal.
Vaguely.
Now I am kind of curious what exactly that means to you.
It depends. What can you tell me about it?
Not a whole lot.
Seems we're at a impasse of information. We know about the same.
But you're looking for it. Why would that be?
I don't know that I trust you enough to tell you.
But you are curious enough to wander over to ask. Ain't that a daisy?
You were curious enough to listen to our conversation, weren't you?
Oh, now I was keeping an eye on you regardless.
Oh, and why's that?
Because normal folk don't go around as healed as you two.
Interesting.
If I may, I tend to find if everybody's being cagey, everybody just stays in their cages. How about we show our hand a little?
Already.
You first.
Oh no, the cards are on the table, love. Now we're just betting information. So I tell you what.
Conan comes back with drinks and starts putting them on the table. The potatoes are gonna be a while, unfortunately. He's wiping his hands on his jerkin. Milady.
So I will let
I
I will let Johnny make the final call on this one, but I would say, given the nature of the game, I would suggest either an intelligence or wisdom check, intelligence, wisdom, or charisma check, along with your proficiency in the playing card set if you have it, and the high roll is the one that wins the hand.
Okay.
Are y'all amenable to that?
Do y'all have any proficiency in gaming?
No.
So it'd be a straight intelligence, wisdom, or charisma check, depending on what you wanna use. You can just click on the. That's a saving throw. It's a little different. You want to go to the actual box and just click where it says wisdom, intelligence, or charisma.
There you go. As such.
The squeak is killing me. Whatever your dog is playing with is just making a funny noise.
She's digging on the couch. Okay, so it looks like If I'm not mistaken, Melindra would have won that.
That's correct.
So what does that mean?
Oh, yes.
You can ask me a question.
What you're doing?
So you won the first hand.
Okay.
You're playing cards.
Okay.
And you have something of an advantage because you won. You won that round.
So you can ask the first question.
How familiar are you with this Lushal?
We're not at all familiar with it. We have been stumbling our way to it on the request of, let's say, a friend.
Says Onan.
That information is going to cost you a bit more. But the fact of the matter is, we're heading in that direction for our own reasons. The problem is, we're not terribly clear how to get there either.
Melinda raises an eyebrow and just, in curiosity.
All right, next hand.
Flip, 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 flip. Roll it again. Damn, Wind Rider. All right.
All right.
You're up, Leo. You have the option.
Well, it sort of seems that we're both looking for something similar, and you told us that you were sent here by a interested third party. I guess one of the best ways to disarm each other is kind of guessing if we to try and figure out if they're what the motivation of perhaps your third party is. No need to ruin any trust or anything, but are you looking to overtake, destroy, investigate? What were you talking about here?
At the risk of being a poor loser on this one, I'm gonna have to beg an indulgence. I can tell you that this interested third party, this friend of ours, is highly motivated to get to these mountains because he thinks that there is something very bad that is going to happen if he does not get there.
All right.
So he is a very motivated individual. Very motivated, very static individual.
Leo, you can tell that Onan is shuffling uncomfortably as he's standing there.
All right then.
Another round.
Another round.
Lord, how did I get a negative one?
Dang,
Oh, because I rolled
Colson.
my strength. Hang on, I rolled the wrong stat on that. Let's see, if I switch that for my charisma, that's plus 6, so that's 12. That's actually a 21.
Okay.
So in that case, now, what's your business with Lusal?
Melindra just looks up at Leo, raises an eyebrow, and gestures for him to answer first.
I mean, he did lose the hand.
Completely. I think he dropped his cards on the floor.
I think it's safe to say we have archaeological interests.
That's not much of an answer.
Neither was yours.
Oh, I think you got
There's
an
no
awful lot
gold.
out of me.
There's no gold there, nor are there gems. And says,
Hmm. That may
Where
be
I could
fair,
smell it.
but not all treasure is silver and gold.
Onin looks at Coulson. Gives him a look. Coulson, you read it as maybe this guy just tipped his hand.
Maybe.
Around? Does Nalindra want to jump
Sure.
Hmm.
in?
Let's just say my adventure is more of a personal one.
See, now that I can appreciate. So what are you hoping to get out of that?
I think that deserves another hand.
Alrighty then.
Well then.
Do tell.
I'm looking to
Is
get
that a
answers and to commemorate things of my past that could be validated by the secrets that Lushal holds.
So you're expecting to get to Lusal and find answers, wisdom, history?
Nalindra raises an eyebrow and just smirks. Onin, don't you think your potatoes are ready?
He was kind of mesmerized. He was clearly mesmerized by your voice, and then when you call his name, say his name, he snaps out of it, flushes again, and then scurries back towards the bar, casting a glance over his shoulder, almost tripping over his own feet.
Fact of the matter is, I don't feel like we're at cross purposes on this one.
Oh, but I beg to differ.
You have an interest in the site, and we're basically just delivering a box.
What kind of box?
Oh, now you didn't deal the cards for that one, darling. Suffice it to say, it's important that we get the box to that place that you guys are terribly interested in, and we are only vaguely so. Not saying it's a chore or anything. Not saying it's not. But in any case. So, since I don't feel like we're at cross purposes, are you interested in tagging along?
What's the price I have to pay?
Let's say you're gonna have to pay in blood.
And with that, Leonard's hand drops to something pointy. Just not to draw anything, but to just be ready.
Something pointy.
See, getting up here thus far has been no end of grief. So if you're going to travel with us, you're expected to defend the party if you're joining. Or you can choose to travel on your own being with considerably fewer people and try your odds. But if you're willing to take on your share, then I guarantee you also get your share.
Dillinger looks up at
Yeah.
Hey, you can take your hand off your blade.
Dillinger looks up at Leo and just wide eyes stares, almost as if having a conversation without saying any words, and waits to see if he responds.
Onan
Yeah,
appears with
Leonard's
a
like,
water full of potatoes. Steaming, buttery potatoes.
Coulson is currently holding a hand of cards, by the way. You're not exactly sure when they appeared in his hand.
yeah, and with that, Leonard's like, although that wasn't necessarily the most politic way of presenting his suggestion, and with that, Leonard raises his hands back up. What he offers is something that we can use, and vice versa. I'm amenable.
Dillinger
You
grabbed.
notice, Leo, the two of you notice that Onan is standing there, and he's looking at Coulson. Something about Coulson's demeanor makes him drop his hand to the haft of his mace. He just holds it there.
Dillinger reaches down and grabs the drink that Onan had previously left on the table and lifts it to her lips while paying close attention to both Coulson and the fact that Onan reached for his mace. Looks like you have yourself some traveling partners.
Excellent. I shuffle the hand back into my deck.
Onan relaxes when he does that.
And I will
Excellent.
tuck my deck away. Well then, when can you be ready to mosey?
Well, we're ready right now.
Are you?
Just gotta grab the mule.
You brought a mule?
Excellent. Where? Oh, a mule. How did you get a mule this deep into the forests, into the mountains, without breaking a leg?
I mean, it is a mule.
You've seen how steep those hills are.
Yeah, but that's why you bring a mule.
What we need are one of those cats. Honestly. They move so lively. I wonder if we could possibly domesticate one of them. Calm them.
Well, maybe we'll stumble across a druid at some point in time that doesn't try to set us on fire.
He chuckles. So where are we going?
Well, now that is a problem. Have we figured out where we're going yet?
Well, I know where we were and where it's not.
I suppose if you're on your way up here, you had yourself some sort of map to get you at least this far.
As a matter of fact, we do. Although it ends here, and now we're not sure which direction to go. We were hoping maybe
Well, it
you
seems
had a
we
map.
should compare notes to see if our map and your map might get us a little further.
You compare maps, and theirs that they have available is quite worn. Looks like it maybe spent quite a few years in a temple, possibly. It is fairly complete with a few interesting little locations that may be worth investigating if you weren't currently on your current quest. We can tuck that info away for now. But yeah, their map kind of just ends in this general area. You do see Bent Pine notated on their map, but it's a little bit out of place by a few miles, judging by the map that you've been creating as you've been traveling. Onan
Now I
actually speaks
misplaced
up and
the 3x5 card that I scribbled that on, but as I recall, we at least had a river to follow, didn't we?
yes.
All right.
Onan says, actually, I was talking with Gizmondo, and he seems to indicate that if we want to, he seems to be a wealth of knowledge, being the barkeep here in this township, and he seemed to insinuate through conversation, just casual conversation, he's meandering on. It's quite possible that we may find what we're looking for in the church, the temple.
Is that where we dropped off the kid? Or did we drop off the kid with the mayor?
Mayor, yeah.
Okay. Well, let's have words with that fellow then. And see if that'll get us a little further down. Hopefully the unpleasantness of yesterday will not taint the conversation.
Lead the
So who
way.
you want to speak to? Gizmondo? Or someone else?
Yeah, what? No, I think we're gonna go visit the church.
Okay. Church. In that case. It's the wrong one. This is it. Boop. It is not. I'll find it. For fear. No, I know where I'm going. Alrighty. Moving back to here. So the church is over here in the top left. You meander through the streets and the pathways over to that area. People are coming and going from their houses, tending to their gardens. You hear a few whispers of someone they're referring to as Black Cloak. Black Cloak visited the village. Black Cloak's fiddle has gone missing. I hear it's with the child, etc., etc. The child, the poor child's an orphan now. What happened to the father? Coulson and Onan get a few cross stares as you walk by towards the church, but they do not intercede with you.
Interesting
They
that
just
they
watch
know
it
the
go.
name of the guy that did the dealing.
Yeah. No, we're missing
Must
a
be
guy.
some of the local color.
So you get over to the church. As you can see, it has a few paths where you can meander around the gravestones and such. It's unnaturally misty over here. Closes in on you. A bit cold and damp. It doesn't seem to be moving. Whereas mist throughout the rest of the village has some motion to it at least. But it seems like this graveyard that is in a slight depression in the landscape is just perpetually foggy and chilly. You know, graveyard-esque, so to speak.
Like somebody really put the money in for ambiance.
Let me fix this here. Save. Okay. I lost Onan. So this fella here, he comes walking out, a priesty-like fella, in this kind of a turquoisey green cloak, robes. Sees you approaching. He is carrying a small shovel. Can I get a perception check, maybe?
Of course, I had to minimize my character sheet just for that.
Onan has gone back to group to inform them that others may be joining. Just give them a heads up of what's going on and to take them more victuals. Let's see, Coulson. Yeah, Coulson, you notice that the shovel blade bit is dirty. There's something else, like it's also bloodied beneath the dirt that is clinging to the shovel.
Well, now this could be a much more interesting conversation than I was originally expecting.
The man, he looks to be in his 60s or so, his 6th decade. He's slightly stooped, walks with a limp, carrying the shovel. He sees you approaching as, Oh, patrons, friends, if you come to worship.
Well, no, sir. Actually, we're hoping you can help us find our way.
He shoves the blade into the earth at his feet and uses it as a crutch as he's leaning there. He says, I am but a shepherd.
Well,
Please
we're only
ask.
looking for directions.
Very well.
We, for our various reasons, have a powerful and profound need to find our way to Lusal.
Oh. He narrows his eyes at you when you say it. So, yes, not many people come looking for that.
Admittedly, we weren't all that enthusiastic about looking for it in the first place, but we do have a need.
If I may ask, child, what is your need for such a place?
Well, now...
You can see that he's no longer leaning on the shovel handle, but he's attempting to stand upright.
I will remain in a somewhat relaxed position.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now it is my understanding that there's a repository of knowledge there that would be very helpful to my companions. And we are asked to accompany a friend of ours there as well on something of a pilgrimage.
He steps ever so slowly towards you. Who sends you on this pilgrimage? Gripping the shovel.
I don't know if I actually put that down in my notes or not. Well, now that is embarrassing. I did not write that down.
Are you looking for Zugon?
Is that his name?
Zugon.
Well, the gentleman's name is Zugal.
His eyes go wide. How do you know this name?
I'm actually a little more curious as to why you know that name. It sounds like maybe there's something I should know about this friend of mine.
Zugon is a man of legend from centuries past. Can't possibly have sent you. You're mistaken.
Well, now,
This is
why
another
don't you
with the
tell
same
me the
name.
story of this man, this legendary man?
Zugon and his brother Boak, they roamed these hills together. They were brothers. And his eyes wanders across the gravestones, and he says they had something of a falling out. It broke them. It is said that they fought here in the mountains, defeated by his brother Zugon.
And this Zugon was a honorable fella?
He did follow the path of the light, yes.
And his brother, somewhat less so?
Somewhat less so, yes.
I see.
Can I get a... Let's see, you're trying to convince him. A convincing roll. Do a charisma or
Do you want perception or deception? Sorry,
Well, if you wanna
persuasion or
persuade-
deception?
whichever tact you want to take.
I mean, I do enjoy lying.
So how are you trying to deceive him?
I am trying
You've
to.
told him-
Well, yeah, but I am like kind of gilding the lily on this one, so it's like less of a oh yeah, like he's with us, and more of like this is more of a task of legend sort of thing.
As if you're not treasure hunting, but it's a expedition of exploration and enlightenment. Is that what you're trying to convince him of?
Let's say that we are acting on behalf of, let's say, a descendant.
Okay, that might work. Curious, I'm not aware of Zugon having a family tree. It's quite pious,
I mean,
and
even the pious folks like to get their taste.
blasphemy. He mutters beneath his breath. The goddess would not allow such.
Why are you?
He starts to doubt your words.
Cat stepped on the keyboard. Sorry. Stop.
Well, now, since we are acting on behalf of, I don't suppose that you would be willing to point us in the right and proper direction, that we can attend to the needs of this fella.
What proof do you have besides words?
Stop.
Are you suggesting that my words are not good enough?
I am suggesting that this is a matter of great import.
I'm offended, sir.
No need to be offended. He raises his free hand. The other one grips the handle of the shovel tightly. I have my duties, as do you.
And what would your duty be to this? What would your duty be to this Zugal? Or is this a mutual duty to the mistress?
Mistress, the goddess.
Goddess.
Justicia. I am one of her many champions.
Say,
As was Zugon.
let's say, Out of curiosity, are you and Zugan? Were you supposed to be contemporaries? Like, were you both supposed to be about this age, or is he like well before you?
What are you doing?
Did say that he was centuries in the past, but you can
Yeah, but I was wondering
perceive
what
that
he was
maybe-
going to say.
Okay. Okay, so he did say it was centuries in the past. He will give me a. If you're trying to compel him to give you info, do a persuasion check.
Alrighty.
Persuasion, please.
No.
Okay, all right. I carry on his mental.
Now, just as a hypothetical, if his brother were to make some sort of a return, what would
He would
your...
find me. He would find me standing steadfastly, and at this he holds the shovel in his hand with both hands, and eyes you suspiciously, the three of you together, as if you have come to rob the temple of its knowledge.
And if his brother happened to be, prepared to do something of an unpleasant nature, would you therefore be obligated to take steps in order to prevent that from occurring?
It is my duty as a follower of Justicia.
And how confident at the moment are you in your ability to execute that duty?
You see his eyes glance down at the blade of his shovel. And he, after a moment of contemplation, he says, "What I had vowed never to do again."
Now, let's assume perhaps that a number of interested folk might have reason to try to go to a place in order to prevent said brother from doing something unfortunate. Would it not make sense to speed them on their way in the hopes that they could do what you might not be able to?
Let's see. Oh, shucks. Gonna have to go over here. You're being really kind of oblique with him. He's not picking up what you're putting down. But understanding.
He's not understanding that the brother is potentially up to some nasty stuff and that we're trying to do something to prevent it?
He's trying to figure out why you are asking such roundabout questions. His suspicion grows.
What was the brother's name again?
Boak.
Boak?
Yeah.
All right. We have reason to believe that Boak has somehow returned and is intending some unpleasantness for this realm.
Oops. That's the wrong edit. Zugan is not evil. Zugan is good. Boak. That is not a Freudian slip. This is actually true. Okay. Say it again. For my benefit. You just said.
Suggested that Boak may have returned in a fashion, and we are attempting to stop whatever it is he is trying to do.
Okay, give me a persuasion check. I'm going to give you a +3.
better on that?
Yeah, the grip that he has, you could call it a death grip. Lessens on his shovel. His body, he was growing tense, but then he relaxes quite a bit and plunges the blade into the dirt in front of him. Not forcefully, but just matter-of-factly enough to give him support. He has grown weakened by trying to basically puff himself up in front of you. And he says, "Are you those people? You those champions?"
We might be.
He asks you, optimistically and hopefully.
We might be. It seems like we've been put on purposes. And we have a need to be at Lusal, I believe, with due haste and alacrity.
He suddenly turns his head to the left into the deepest ribbons of the mist, and as if he sees something there, and then he looks back at you, and in a whisper he says, "We must go inside." And he turns and beckons for you to follow him into the temple. I get a perception check. All right, so Coulson follows in. The two of you, as you are approaching the stairs, you hear a groaning sound coming from the mist. Sounds like the earth settling. Like just maybe like dirt falling into a hole. Possibly is what it reminds you of, but it echoes through the mist. You hear the scrambling of stone.
Yeah.
Yes, Leo? Yeah.
Okay, so I have a question just because I don't know. Like,
Okay. Yeah.
so I have minor illusion as part of a spell that I can use. If I wanted to cast that to allow us to enter into the church to distract whatever is in making that noise, how would one do that?
I don't understand. You want to
Minor illusion allows you to drop something, basically a visual image, or it allows you to create a noise. The origin point of which has to be within 30 feet of you. And then they would get an intelligence save to see through the illusion if it was if it becomes relevant to them.
So you're trying to make it
what
look
sort
like...
of illusion would you want to drop?
Yeah.
Like you basically have a 5-foot cube to play with, or you have
I'm reading this.
a noise up to some decibel level.
Are you trying to obscure your movement and purpose to make it look like you're going into the temple, but not?
Yes.
Let's see.
It's a static image. You could put a image of yourself standing in the doorway of the temple if you were going to book it in another direction.
Mm-hmm.
Well, also, I mean, fog is a diffusion, so I mean, you could have like about it's a 5-foot space that you're working with, right? Well, you could have a 5-foot screen of bright light into the fog, where all of a sudden the fog is illuminated and they can't really see through it, and that would sort of think of like a flashbang, I guess.
The illusion doesn't generate light per se, so it can't create that sort of effect. That would be a light spell.
Fair point.
So, okay, so it can't be larger than a 5-foot cube.
Correct.
And the image can't create sound, light, smell, or any other. Okay.
The image is only visual or only audio. Well, it's either an image or it's a noise. But you can't do both. And it's a static image. I like to use them to make boxes myself.
Okay, so ideally, I'm curious about the sound because I've been paying attention to the conversation between Coulson and does he have a name? Did I miss his name?
I did not give you a name, no.
Okay, between this
We'll call him. Yeah, we'll call
The
him
priest?
Filson. The
Priest?
Filson. The priest.
so the conversation and the observation between Coulson and this priest has piqued Nullinger's interest, and the sounds coming from the short distance and the shovel with the blood and the mud on it
Mhm.
has Nullinger curious to see what is coming through the fog. So she'll cast a minor illusion of herself into the doorway of the church.
Can you? So we'll put your illusion there. We'll say that. That's too big. That's too
Tonight.
big. We'll just put a dot on you. Well, that means you're an illusion.
Okay.
Or actually, I can illuminate it.
Is there anything that I have to do?
It's a standard action to cast a spell. Unless you have a thing that says otherwise.
I wasn't sure if I had to click on something.
There we go. Just so we know which one's you and which one's not.
So I don't have
So
to
that
click
would-
on anything, right?
No.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure.
But yeah. You mean to cast the spell?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, it's a cantrip. It's not going to count down or anything.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure.
Mhm.
So
Leo, suddenly,
okay.
your companion is practically right in front of you when she was behind you.
Right then.
So
And we're
instead,
still hearing this moaning, yeah?
yeah.
It was brief. It lasted for 2-3 seconds.
Well,
More often
then,
this distance over here.
with that, Leonard will, unsling his rifle and move a bit more into the church.
More hastily. You will notice that you've seen her do this before, that she has cast an illusion spell, so you see 2 of her. That might pique your interest. I don't know. Or maybe, yeah, how would you react to that?
Well, if she's done this before, I've seen this happen before, I would guess my reaction would be like, well, she's doing a thing, I'll let her do her thing.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, so he has moved into the temple, moving past your illusion. What do you do, Nalindra?
I kind of pace to the side of this church or on the corner away from the direction that the sound came from to see if moving out of the way would create that sound again, maybe pique the interest of whatever that sound is being made from or where it's coming from.
Alright, yeah, so you take up station there at the corner.
And it just so happens that there's a window open to the church that I can overhear what is being said on the inside.
Oh, really?
You taking a jump on that one.
Let's go inside the church. The two of you, can I get a perception check? Okay, Colson. So the two of you enter. It's not an accurate representation of what you're looking at on the map as what you're actually in. So it is a temple of stone. There's an altar pretty much across the way here, and there is standing a robed, hooded statue of a lady with her arms spread. You know this to be Justicia, a representation thereof. There is an altar in front of it with candles and trinkets and offerings and such. And here and there, there are very narrow benches where one may sit, or maybe two people max could sit, kind of fanned out away from the dais that the statue is upon. What draws your attention, Coulson, is that over in the corner over here on the left-hand side, there is a coffin. And on the floor next to the coffin is a disturbance of dirt that should not be there.
Does the coffin look like it was recently exhumed?
It doesn't look like it has gone into the ground yet. Looks like it has been freshly hewn.
This isn't a dirt floor, though.
That. Correct. It's a stone floor.
So I will look pointedly at the coffin and then look pointedly at the priest. Does this have anything to do with that?
Someone came before you. They were on the wrong side. You, I hope, are on the side of Justicia for your sake. It says to confirm with you.
Well, now, if you've got trouble coming, I guess we're about to find out the hard way, aren't we?
You remember that he said that there was something that he did that he had hoped not to do again when you were outside. Alluded to that.
There's always something.
What knowledge do you seek? He says to basically move away from the topic. What has been done.
All we're looking for is directions.
If it is directions that you seek, he looks at both of you. Where's your companion?
I believe she's currently watching the door. I don't think she's quite grasped the potential threat that might be coming in our direction.
Friend is wise and alert.
Oh, the roll.
Just as I thought, there is danger approaching. He stiffens up a bit and rushes over to the door past you, and he looks off in this direction here into the mist, and then he looks around for the actual Alindra. He says, "Oh, there's no time," and he shuts the door, bars it. Nalindra, you hear this happening. Can I get a perception from you, Nalindra?
Oh dear.
Perfect. What do the two of you inside do when this happens? He rushes over. He clearly understands and acknowledges that this is an illusion. He senses danger and bars the door. You do.
Is this a regular occurrence?
He looks at you and says, "This is something that has been expected. Yes, I did not expect it in my life. Did not expect it in my lifetime under my watch. It's been some time."
And what exactly is it that you're hiding from?
His minions.
His minions?
Have risen. Their interest have been piqued. Probably, he looks at the two of you. Your motivations. You have brought this upon us. Starts to get a little suspicious.
Old timer, if I wanted to put you into one of those boxes, I'd already done it. You gonna pick up that shovel, you best know who it is you're pointing it at.
Actually, let me rotate him around as he's looking at you. Says, he relaxes ever so slightly, but he's still vigilant. His ears are.
I mean, yeah, there's
up.
about to be a zombie apocalypse crawling up his ass. Of course he's vigilant.
How astute of you, sir. How astute of you.
I mean, it wasn't that hard to suss out. We're in a graveyard.
Exactly. Oh my god, why can't I move that guy? Damn. There he is. So,
Oh god.
Melindra, the ground beneath, or near you, actually, distorts by this gravestone, and the gravestone actually topples over, and emerging from the dirt is a hand. It comes grasping out, and slowly emerging first the hand, then the shoulder, is undead rising from its resting place. Can I get from you, let's see, how would you react to that? Would you frighten you, possibly? Can I get a roll from you, a check? Let's see. Be appropriate in that situation. I would say maybe wisdom check. Oh no. You're gripped with fear and horror as you are just standing there staring at this corpse emerging from the ground.
Does
That would
she
be a wisdom
scream?
save. I don't know if that's going to be much different for her, but I'm reckoning that that might actually be a 12.
Oh, I might have clicked
Did
on the
you
wrong
roll
one.
Wisdom or roll? Oh yeah, roll your wisdom save. Oh, worse.
It's not much
Wow.
better.
Oof.
Okay, I tried.
I appreciate the try.
Oh goodness, I cannot.
Oh
Correct.
gosh.
Okay, so yeah, so that rises here, and then right over here to your left, the ground begins to become disturbed as well.
The question stands: does she scream?
That is a good question.
One might think that somebody might be quite unnerved in this situation.
It's quite possible. Let's do a.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I would say you scream. You have lost your wits, hence you made a really awful wisdom check. You scream. You scream aloud. I'm gonna say you've never seen such aberrations before. For the moment, you are stunned as you
Stunned and
lost your
frozen,
senses.
screaming at the
Stunned
top
and
of my
frozen.
lungs.
The two of you, of course, hear this through the stone walls.
So there's no windows.
There are windows up really high, about we'll say 10 feet, to allow light in. Stained glass,
Not the opening kind.
not the opening kind.
But there was an open window. Maybe it was broken.
No such luck. No such luck.
I have no luck.
You have no luck. So inside, what do the two of you do as things start to come unhinged?
I think, seeing that, Leonard's been running with Nalindra longer, his first move would be to try and get out the door to, back her up, since trying to fire from a defensive position is not feasible.
Okay. So you're going to exit the temple.
Yeah.
Well, you move for the door, and he stops you. Back in there. Get back in there. You move your guy back in there. Yeah, he stops you. Puts his hand on plank that he's used to shoved in front of the two halves of the door. He halts your exit. He puts his other hand on your shoulder. Coulson, you see that he has left the clearly muddy and bloody shovel on the tabletop there near him. And yeah, he bars you, Leo, from going out. No, you mustn't go out there. You'll be consumed. The flesh eaters. They are rising, as is foretold. This guy seems crazy.
You remember that thing I told you about whether or not you were up for the challenge if things were to go horribly awry?
Yeah, Leonard's response to that, to like this old man, would be like, either let me out or follow him. That's your choices.
Okay, so he still has his hand gripped on the cross plank there. You'll have to force your way out if you wish.
I believe I said that I had unslung my rifle. I think I'll slam the stock of the rifle at the old man's foot, and and then while he's preoccupied with that, I'll make my way through the door.
Okay.
Should I do a roll for that?
Yeah.
I don't want to actually hurt him, but
You'll get an advantage on it. I'll give you a +5.
so strength roll.
To hit, yeah, we can do that. Yeah, so you can slam it into the top of his foot. He will react to, of course, by yelling out in pain, and he falls backwards, stumbles backwards. Wilson, what are you doing?
Well, if he's no longer in position to block the doorway, then I will step up, remove the bar, put it very conveniently to the side of the door, and step outside.
You step outside, and yes, emerging from the mist.
Oh God.
Oh, it's gonna be like that.
It's gonna be like that, is it? And there's also one here too. There are 3 of them here that are hemming in Alindra. Alindra, can I get another wisdom save from you?
Yes.
Good job. Come to your senses just in time to realize that there are 3 of these undead creatures that have risen from the ground, and they are shambling towards you. They are wearing tattered rags, jewelry, bracelets, One of them is wearing a tattered hat that is knocked askew on his head, little cap. Clothing that was once finery, but has now decayed and ripped over time, and via its ascension through the dirt. You hear the door bust open, and two companions come rushing out. And I think that's a good place to stop. Yeah, it's 10:30, 12:30.
Dun dun dun.
Are we good with that?
Yeah, yeah. I think this is probably not a great time to be starting to fight.
No.
We're in it for the long haul on that one.
Right. Okay, cool. Yeah, the graveyard has come unalive.
Well, it was going to happen sooner or later.
Yeah, something here, some supernatural force is bent on stopping your progress to find anything out about Lusal.
Well, now I'm just annoyed.
We can't do anything easy.
All right, cool. I like it. This is gonna be good.
This is fun.
Jump right into a zombie fight. I'm sorry we couldn't get to the actual zombie fight, but we'll see if you can survive that without any repercussions next time.
So 18th for the next game?
I believe so, yeah.
Alrighty.
That's 2 weeks from now, yay.
I'll pencil
I'm
it in.
excited. This is my excited face.
Awesome.
I recognize that face. Yes, I have chained Coffin on the calendar. We're good.
Alrighty. Good times.
Fantastic. All right, keep in touch. The two of you that are still relatively new, please feel free to shout out any questions to the group, the server, and someone will hop in and assist you. You can direct any sort of questions to me directly if you would like, especially with backstory stuff if you want to develop that any further.
Awesome.
Would probably be a good
All right.
idea.
Alrighty. Good meeting you folks.
Torpedo. Yeah, thanks for joining us. That's awesome.
This was a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun. Like, I'm like
Yeah.
over here, like muting myself, like being all giddy, like, ooh.
Good.
Like I'm ready for it to be the 18th already. Like, let's play.
All right. We'll get into it deep next time.
Alrighty.
All right. Take care, y'all.
Have a good night.
Have a good night, folks.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.
See ya.
Ah, that was so much fun. Well, thanks for hanging out with me while we did some D&D. I need to leave this game. But I'm going to go ahead and end the stream because it's late. But I love you guys. Thanks for hanging out. And I will talk to you later. Okay, bye.
Madam Mortician.